The third speaking item that you're going to do is actually the first integrated speaking. So now we're making a transition away from the independent speaking and into the integrated speaking. And the integrated speaking in many ways is similar to the integrated writing. The first item that you're going to do is called the announcement discussion task. So what you need to do is look at an announcement and then listen to two people having a discussion about that announcement. As in most things in the TOEFL, the thing that you need to be really careful with and really pay attention to is the sequence of the item, because being oriented to the sequence is going to make sure that you're never lost and you know what you need to do at each individual step. First, you're going to read. It's going to be an easy thing to read. It's going to be an announcement on campus. Then you're going to listen to a conversation, and it's directly about the announcement. It's going to be two people, generally a student and a student. Sometimes it's a student and a professor, or a student and somebody else. Then you get the question, then you have 30 seconds of preparation, and then finally you're going to speak for 60 seconds. So the first thing that you do is you read. And what you really want to focus on is the change that is being described in this announcement, because it's always about some sort of change. And in fact, the title is going to be probably the most important piece of information. And then the rest of the announcement is a description of why they want to make this change. And there are going to usually be 3 details. This is a little bit less important because you'll hear this information in the conversation, but if you catch it, it can help you to predict what you're going to listen to. So the important information here is the title, which corresponds to the change. And the useful information, but not super important information, is going to be the details that are in the text of the announcement. So then the text disappears. You do not see the text again. It's gone forever. And you move to the listening section. So now it's going to be 60 to 90 seconds of a conversation. And it's two people looking at the announcement and discussing it directly. So the conversation might look like something like this. The guy on the left says, "I agree," or "I disagree with the announcement." The other guy says, "Really? Yeah, here's one reason why." "Oh, I never thought about it like that." "Here's another reason." "I see what you mean. That might be a useful detail." "Here's another reason, or a better solution to the problem." That one's important. And then this guy says, "Oh, wow, you're smart." So as with all conversations, you want to do this in 2 columns. So the speaker on the left is in one column, the speaker on the right is in another column, and you can separate what each person said very quickly in the preparation phase. Okay, now what you're going to do is identify the 3 points made by the important speaker and their main opinion. So first, he gives his main opinion. "I agree," or "I disagree." Usually they disagree, not always. 80% of the time they disagree. So does he agree or disagree? Then point 1, point 2, and point 3. These 4 pieces of information are the most important pieces of information on this item. So if you catch these 4 pieces of information, there's a very high probability that you'll get a perfect score. Okay, then you get the question, and the question is always the same. What is the man's or the woman's opinion of the announcement, and why? So the only information that you really need to take from this is, are they asking about the man or the woman, or the student or the professor, just so you can identify the speaker that you're talking about. Okay, now you have 30 seconds of preparation time. And this is the only item where 30 seconds of preparation time is going to seem okay. So first, you want to circle the 4 pieces of information that you need. Does the person agree or disagree in general? So that's their general opinion. And then circle the piece of information that corresponds to the first point they make, the second point they make, and then the final point they make. And be careful, point 2 and 3 are often very closely related, or they seem almost the same. And often one or the other of point 2 and 3 will be not a reason for agreeing, but will be providing a different solution to the problem. And that still is one of the points, because it's part of this person's opinion. So be careful. You want to try to identify 4 pieces of information, and you should predict that they will intentionally make 2 of those very closely related and sort of hard to catch, that they are in fact different points. Okay, so now when you're speaking, like with all speaking items on the TOEFL, you're going to have a script. Here you're going to basically have 5 things that you say. The first thing is, the announcement explains something. So the main topic of the announcement. Second thing, the man or woman agrees or disagrees with this change and gives many reasons for agreeing or disagreeing. He thinks that ... also ... and finally ... And remember, the number of details about each point is going to vary. So you will always have 3 points that the person mentions, but the number of details that support each point will be different, 1 or 2, occasionally 3. Okay, so let's look at the cheat sheet, or if you speak Spanish, the chuleta. So obviously this is your reference document that you look at before each item. You need to see it before you start. So the 5 pieces of information you need here are the main topic of the text, the person's main opinion, so do they agree or disagree, then the 3 points they give for having that opinion. So as you can see down here, this is the 3rd item in the speaking section. It's the first integrated item, and most people think it's the easiest integrated item. Okay, good luck.